Mic check 1 2 1 2. Color grading. So we are going to be looking at color grading. How do you color grade your footage? Okay. How do you color grade your footage? So let's get into my computer here. Okay. So here we go. So when you're color grading, it depends on what footage you're color grading. So there's log footage, which is like kind of when you're doing photos, log is like raw, and then there's picture profiles. So picture profiles is kind of when you're doing like when you're filming, when you're taking pictures in JPEG, that's equivalent to picture profiles when you're filming. Okay, so just look at it this way, like log is the equivalent of raw to photos, and picture profiles or natural is the equivalent to JPEG. Okay, so well, basically like natural JPEG is like kind of like that. Okay, so yeah, so that's what you need to consider before you even go into color grading, is what kind of footage are you going to be color grading? Are you going to be color grading log footage, or are you going to be color grading JPEG footage? Okay, so which means like when you're doing photos, the raw footage has more data in it. You can kind of bring the highlights back if a photo was blown out of, if a photo was overexposed. That's if it wasn't really overexposed. And if it was underexposed, you can also kind of bring the photo back to life if you shot that photo in RAW. But if you shot it in JPEG, it's kind of hard to bring it back to life. So same thing with log and picture profile. Okay, if you shot your footage in RAW, if you shot your footage in log, you can easily bring back some of the details that were kind of overblown or undersaturated, underexposed. But if you shot in a picture profile, let's say natural or whatever picture profile on your camera, it's going to be hard to kind of return the original, to return the details in the photo, such as the highlights and such as the shadows. It's gonna be hard to kind of bring those back to to life, to kind of like color grade the footage properly. So that's why most professionals film in RAW, because in post-production, in the stage we're in right now, they can retain some of the data that they can they can work with a lot of data, because the camera is capturing a lot of data. But if you just shoot in like a picture profile, you don't capture as much data as you would if you shoot in log. So yeah, so that's the kind of like the reason why a lot of people like shooting in log. Okay, so here I say I always shoot in natural picture profile because it's faster for me to color grade than log, and plus log files are huge, and right now I don't have the computing power to be editing like 100 GB. Like it's a lot of, I do 8-hour weddings, and if I shoot everything in log 4K, it's gonna be huge files. So to save myself time, I just do 1080p, and I do just the natural picture profile. But you could do whatever you want. This is just what works for me, right? You might have a faster computer than me. You might have a more upgraded computer than me. So you can do what you want according to what gear you're working with. Okay. So so step one is decide what you want to shoot in. Do you want to shoot in log, or do you want to shoot in a natural picture profile? Step two is if you shoot in log, then you can use like the 709, the Rec 709 LUTs to kind of bring your, your log footage back to life, kind of like to bring it to natural. You can use a Rec 709 LUT to kind of like bring it back to natural. But if you shot in like, let's say just in natural, then skip this step. But the Rec 709 LUT kind of just like brings it back to kind of life. It kind of adds some shadows in there. It kind of adjusts the saturations, brings the colors up a little bit. It kind of does that for you. So step three is make your footage look creative manually or add LUTs. And then step four is adjust the LUTs opacity and also adjust the color board accordingly to what kind of look you want. Okay, so now let's get into the footage here. So this footage was shot with the natural picture profile. I used the Sony A7S for this footage. So yeah, so this is the bride here. Okay, she's just putting on the earrings and stuff like that. So I haven't done anything yet. So what you do is, this is already Rec 709 kind of equivalent, because this is a natural picture profile I was shooting in. So it's, Rec 709 equivalent. So what you do here now is, this is good. If you want to keep it like this, you want to deliver the film like this, it's good. At least it looks natural. It looks fine. But if you want to color grade it, this is where you go. You start, messing with this stuff here. So what you mess with first is the exposure. Okay, so do you kind of, adjust the highlights? Either if it's too overexposed, kind of like this, then you have to, bring it down some. So what you want to do is, when you want to look at this right here, you want to look at this graph right here. So this is I have it on overlay. So the red, greens, and blue, I have this on overlay, so that way I can kind of look at all the colors. But you can have it on Luma if you want. Sometimes I use that, but I usually just keep it on here. And this is where it's going to tell you that the colors are, if it goes over here, which is 100, let me do something here. This is better. So if it goes over 100 here, then it means this is overexposed. If it goes under the 0, it's underexposed. Okay, so you want to keep your exposure, you want to keep it under the 100, and you want to keep it, above the 0 here. So this is the highlights going up. See how they're just, overexposed. So when you bring them, at least, what I really do is, I don't really care about the small spikes like this, the little dwindled spikes. What I really care about is the more, like the bigger, spikes is what I really care about. So right here, so that's fine right there. But these are fine to me. But if these big ones start going over 100, then I start getting worried. It's like, I'm overexposing my shot. So it depends on the look as well. You can kind of go like that, but I try to keep it, the right way is to keep it under the 100. But you can do whatever you want, but I always like keeping it by 100 or under 100. So that's for the exposure. And then when you go to the darks here, is, when you go down under the 0, it's just too much. See, it's just too much. So what you want to do is, you want to keep it above the 0. Okay, you want to keep it above the 0. I mean, you could do 2, 3, but you want to, keep it above the 0. If you want to get more contrasty, you can go to the 2 or 1, but I don't go more than this. It's just going to be too much for me. So with the shadows, I like just keeping them on 0, but depending on what kind of look I want to get, but I always like keeping them on the 0. And then as far as like, so this is what I look at first. This is what you got to look at first when you're color grading. You got to look at, if your footage is overexposed or underexposed. So you can mess with it here, and you can just tell by eye, you can mess with it here. So you could go, under. It depends on what you want as a look, so you could do whatever you want. But yeah, this is how I do it. Okay. And then when you go to so this is what you do. So this is what you do. And then if you're just looking, you can start adding things like when you go to the saturations here. And then if you want to add more, like, bring more of the saturation up, you start going up. But I don't really do this too much. If I do add saturation, I don't go over 15. I like putting like 15 or under. That's how I like doing it. So that's how I do. And this is usually like for her skin, the mid-tones are like the skin and stuff like that. Just to kind of like make it pop some more. And this is for the shadows, we'll do kind of 5, depending on the look. You guys might not want this to be saturated. You might not even want it to be saturated like that. Also, if you want to see, you can also just go to like individual colors like the reds and see how the red, like, how the reds are reacting to what you're doing here. Okay. And you can see also how the blues and the greens are reacting when you go here, the greens and the blues. So overlay just kind of shows you the whole picture here. Okay. And yeah, you could do the highlights as well, and try and higher or lower those. But really, I don't really like messing a lot with the highlights unless the drone footage, or unless there's a sky there and you wanna kind of add some color to the sky and stuff like that. That's when you do really the highlights. But then you come to the color here. So I go like this. You start with the exposure, saturation, and then you go to the color. Okay, or you can go here and then go here, but you can, go up, maneuver however you want. So when you come to the color, as you can see that this is just slightly a little bit, it looks a little cold, which is like the blue. So this is the globe right here. It's like global. It shows the whole, it moves everything and, influences all these in one. So I usually, I don't touch the globe, but if you do, you just want to push it all the way back here and make sure it's on 0. So that way it's not influencing any of these. But then again, it depends on your look. So right now we're on step number 3, where you make your look more creative manually, or you add some LUTs to it, right? So what we're gonna do is first we're gonna make it, look creative manually, and then add some LUTs, and then adjust accordingly, right? So what you do is, so there you go. So you have your look, you have your basic look. It looks natural. To me, it looks good. But to some people, it might look like, oh, it looks a little bit warm. So it depends on what you want to do. Do you want to make it look dark? Warmer? Do you want to make it look colder? This is the color is where you do all this, okay? Here is, this is where you mess with all this. So this is, it depends on what you want to do. And then what I like doing is, okay, what I like doing is this. What I like doing is, right now, if you want to make it a little cold, of course you go up. Okay, so there we go. So that's the shadows. So if you want to make the shadows, if you want to make the whole thing look cold, you just slightly go up some. You go, let's say 1 or 2. Actually, we'll do 5 on the shadows. On the mid-tones, that's too cold. 15 is too cold. You could do 10. Looks slightly cold. Or you could do 5. Okay, on the blues and on the highlights, kind of do the same. Or you can try and mix it up depending on your look, okay? But everything I'm doing here is just like, it's all creativity, it's all like creative. It's all how I want it to look, it's not how it should look. This is like now adding my own look, like how I want it to look. So this right here to me looks a little bit all right too. It looks a little bit all right. And you can adjust accordingly. Let's see. Let me bring this up some. It's too warm. There we go. I don't really like messing with the pinks. Messing with the greens. So this is all personal preference, honestly. When it comes to this part where you're being creative, it's honestly all just personal preference. There's no right way or wrong way to do this. It's just your personal preference. Like, how do you want it to look? What looks pleasing to your eye? So this is what you're doing when you're color grading. It's just what looks pleasing to your eye and what you think, the bride and groom will like. So this is what I've done, what I think is like right now, what I've kind of made it look like. And then this is how it was. So this is before and this is after. So you can see there's a huge difference there as to how it looked before. And now you can see how it looks after. So this all, you can mess with this and you can do whatever you want. But yeah, so all you have to do is make sure the profile is natural and then start working on it. If you have log, kind of get it back to looking natural, which is like or you can apply a Rec 709 LUT and then you can mess with, make it look how you want it. So this is what I've chose right here. And if you want, as far as like in Final Cut Pro, you can save your effects, your presets. So I'll save this. I'll save it as film look. Waiting for geography tips, film look 101. There we go. And then we'll put OK. So in the presets, it's going to be there. See? So I could be on here. Oh, you could just go to that look. See? Okay, so there we go. So that's how we do it, guys. That's how we do it. That's my own personal LUT right there. My own personal look. Okay. Oh, now if you want, you can add looks as far as like color grading LUTs. So you can go back here. And then what you can do is the reset, I think. Yeah, there we go, reset. So we've reset everything, right? So what you want to do now is put an adjustment layer here. This is the adjustment layer. So as you can see, it's kind of affecting our look a little bit. I don't know if I put something on it already. Let me see, hide. There's no color board. Anyway, so yeah, so it's kind of affecting our look a little bit. Okay, because of all these levels and all this stuff. Okay, so yeah, so I have an adjustment layer here. So what I want to do, if you want to add a LUT to it, you just load a custom LUT right here, bow. And these are my city LUTs right here, my personal city LUTs. You could put these on any camera. You could put these on the Blackmagic. You can apply this to any cinema camera or any DSLR, whatever, as long as you're applying it to a natural look, or apply these to a Rec 709, they'll look just as the same as how they're gonna look here. So there you go. So there's Athens here, load Athens. And as you can see, I have it set to 58% here. So there we go. Athens is loading. There we go. See, Athens has loaded. So this is fully how it looks. And then you can adjust it to how you want it to look. See, that's Athens. And then you can adjust it. I usually keep it on 50%, but it varies what I do. Sometimes I go on 70, 80, but it depends on what kind of footage I'm working on. So like this footage is already, it's overexposed in the, see that? It's really, overexposed. So this is where on this same footage, what you want to do is you want to go to the exposure and bring the highlights down. See how the highlights are going over 100? They're just off the scale there. So you bring them down some, like here is fine. There you go. So yeah, so we go back here, we go back to the LUT. Since we're talking about the LUT, right? And now we've applied it on this adjustment layer. So it looks better now. It looks better. Still kind of rendering here. Anyway, so yeah, so you go here, see on here now it looks too much. So it depends on your footage as well, guys. It depends on your footage. So what you want to do is you can bring it down. Bring it down some. Let's say 33 looks kind of perfect for me here. So see, it looks good. So this is it, and this is before the LUT. This is how it was. This is after. This is before. This is after. Just slight change, but it looks way more cinematic. I like the cinematic look, the film look. It looks better than the digital look right here. Okay, I like the film look better. So it depends on what you want to do. You can add different LUTs. As you can see, let's try Manhattan, since I used to work there, right? Let's load up the Manhattan Staten. Let's see how that looks. And guys, you can always adjust these looks. This doesn't look as different from this, but it's also what it is. Manhattan's cold, so I was trying to give it that cold look. When I was creating this slide, I was trying to give it that cold Manhattan look, because Manhattan is slightly kind of like London, where it's always overcast. So I was trying to give it that cold look, but that's that. You could do whatever you want. Let's try Johannesburg, which is South Africa. Yeah, I've never been to South Africa, but since I'm from Africa, I had to, throw in that Johannesburg right there. I could have thrown in my own city, but Johannesburg is kind of like more famous, kind of like all the cities that are there are more famous cities, right? So there we go. That's Johannesburg. So this is how I assume Johannesburg looks, like this. But let's bring it down some. Might look good maybe on 50-ish. So that looks perfect for me. Of course, this is all preference. You can make it look how you want. You can do what you want. And I didn't yet work with the highlights on this. Okay, let's adjust the highlights some. There we go. Looks better. So that's how you color grade, guys. That's how you color grade footage. You just work on the footage you have. Just like, if it's underexposed, let's say you haven't applied the looks yet, and you haven't applied the effect, whatever. So it's just like natural. Oh, I'm doing this the wrong thing, right? Okay, let's just do this. Look, let's do this. Let's just hide the adjustment layer, V. So let's say this is how it comes out of the camera. Assuming you shot this in natural, all you gotta do is there you go. This is the after. This is how I want it to look. So that's how I color grade footage, guys. Nothing too serious. That's just my process. I don't go into details. I don't go into like too much, like, tones and this and that. I just keep it simple. Simple is perfect for me. Simple is fast. because I have a lot of work to do. I gotta edit these videos for you guys on YouTube. Um, well, this is a course, right? But I gotta edit YouTube videos. I gotta film YouTube videos, edit them. I gotta film actual weddings, edit them. I gotta, take care of my kids. I got a lot of things to do at the house, and I'm planning on doing a video a day on YouTube, which is crazy. So I don't have time to be going into too much details with this. I just add LUTs. I just add my own looks, and then I kind of like adjust them to how I feel they look good. So that's kind of simple for me, and it's kind of fast for me because I'm a busy person, as you can tell, right? I'm doing too many things. So it's easy if you just have like the LUTs, because like they make the editing process, the coloring process quick and, quicker. So you already have your saved LUTs. You already have the LUTs that you already bought somewhere or whatever. Just add them there and just do that. And then just go and start, changing the opacity. And then you can go back to the color board on your actual photo here and start adjusting that, start adjusting saturations, just start adjusting looks to how you want it to look. It's up to you and what you want to do and how you want your look to look. Okay, how you want your look to look. Yeah, how you want your look to look. So it's up to you at the end of the day. If you want it to look, more contrasty, you can do that. You want it to look less contrasty. It's all about what your preference is, guys. It's all about what you want to do, how you want to present your work. It's your creative process. So that's what I would advise you. Don't get too caught up into, oh, I gotta use DaVinci Resolve. Oh, I gotta use Color Finale or whatever. All these softwares. I gotta use Cinema Grade. I gotta use this. I gotta fuck all that shit. I'm sorry to say this, but just keep it simple. Okay, just keep it simple. You don't have to just go too much into details. Like, you don't get paid $10,000 for weddings. If you do, then you probably you shouldn't be watching this course, because you are definitely already a professional in what you're doing. But this course is usually, for the people that are just trying to learn and advance their films forward. So that's how I color grade my footage. Okay, guys, you don't need all that fancy software. You don't need all the actual knobs and all this stuff that DaVinci Resolve comes with, right? You don't need all that stuff, honestly. You don't. Unless you are color grading The Mandalorian, then you need that shit because the budget is just crazy. They're paying millions for that. And you, as a colorist, are probably going to get like 500K or 100K, depends on whatever the episode or all that shit. You're getting paid a lot of money. So, of course, you're going to do all that and make it look like, oh, I'm doing a lot of work here. Look at all these knobs I'm freaking flipping. Look at all these switches. Like, you know what I mean? Don't get it twisted, okay? Don't get it twisted. Don't think just because somebody has all that stuff around them, they're doing more or can do more than you. They could probably do more, but honestly, they probably even can't, because it's all about the person. It's all about the creativity that you bring to the table. Okay, guys, just like I always say, you can give two people a camera, Steven Spielberg and another person. Steven Spielberg will make the film look better than the other person who doesn't know shit about it, or who's skilled but not as creative as the Spielberg dude, right? So that's what I always say. Anyway, so I don't want to drag this video too much. I like keeping it simple. So that's about color grading. All this stuff, all the other material that I have on my channel, I'll be putting it underneath this section under this topic. So you guys can also get value if you come back to this topic. And all the material that I have so far on this topic, I will add it down on the section. If there's any downloads or whatever I need you guys to download, then they're going to be under this topic as well. So that's that for color grading. Every 6 months, I'll kind of be retouching this topic, kind of updating the video or adding to the video, adding more videos to it. But this is exclusive only for the course. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, I don't know, I haven't yet sort of way to kind of you guys can ask questions, but I don't know. I'll figure that out later. But yeah. So thank you guys. If you have any questions or something, just check the introduction. Maybe um, I'll have something written there on where you can send the questions to. If not, you can just contact me somewhere, somehow, and I'll get to you guys. But I'll definitely put together something where you can contact me with questions and stuff like that, and I can be able to answer your questions there. Okay. So thank you for watching, and let's move on